Hey fellow farmers, this is Bunto, and today I'm going to be doing a monster spotlight on Mei Hou Wang, the Fire Monkey King, and what makes him one of the best, if not the best, frontline tankers for raids. And for the sake of simplicity and me having to do multiple retakes, I'm going to be calling him Wang. Okay, so this is my Wang, and these are his stats here, but let's look at them momentarily. First, let's check out his skills and what makes him really good for raids. His first skill, Monkey Wand, attacks with the Monkey Wand and stuns the enemy for 1 turn with a 35% chance. Once fully skilled, he'll do additional 25% damage, and he'll stun at a 50% chance instead of 35%. Now the raid boss doesn't get stunned, so this isn't really too useful at all. So we'll skip that. Now this is when he starts to get really useful on his second skill, Fire Monkey Wand. Attacks and decrease the defense for 2 turns with a 75% chance and recovers your HP by 15%. He'll do additional 20% damage once fully skilled, and also his defense break will be 100% instead of 75%, and his cooldown will be reduced to 3 turns. So this skill is really good because it defense break every 3 turns and heals for 15% of his HP, which is really nice. So he has a debuff and a self-sustaining skill on his second skill, which is really good. Okay, and his third skill, which is a passive, which just adds more to his usability, grants immunity against inability effects. So this means he can be stunned, sleep, or frozen. And we all know the raid boss stuns, so this is really nice to have. He doesn't stop, only if he gets Oblivion, of course. Okay, so now the second part of his passive is also very good. See here, your attack power increases by 20% when you're attacked, accumulated up to 10 times. So this means that he'll get additional 200% base attack on top of his current attack, which makes him deal quite a bit of damage actually. If you're building him tanky, he'll still do a lot of damage. So this is the skill that makes him viable for Vampire, I think, for raids, which I have him runed on, which I will show you. So he does more damage, and because he does more damage, he'll also heal more too. So you don't have to rune him for attack, which is really nice. Okay, and his third skill is, his leader skill is also very, very useful. It's a defense leader skill, so it increases ally monsters' defense by 33%, which is really nice. Okay, so with these 3 skills, these 3 things that he has, he's a really nice package monsters for raids, for frontline tanking. He can defense break and also heal himself for 15%. His passive gives him immunity to stun and also increases his damage output. So putting Vampire on him heals him even more, which is really good for raids. So let's look at his stats first. Okay, so here's Wang's stats. He is a defense monster, so he's just naturally tanking to begin with. So it's really nice to put defense on him. Okay, so he currently has 24,000 HP, about 1,450 attack. So let's talk more about his attack. So because of the passive, it gives him additional 200% of his base attack. So it'll give him additional 1,384 on top of his 692. So you add that together, you get 2,076. So without any stats on attack at all, and he'll just, with the 10 stacks, he'll have 2,076 attack, which is quite a bit for not putting any attack on at all. But I have additional 769, so once he gets 10 stacks in raids, he'll have a total of 2,845 attack, which is, very good for not putting an attack rune on him at all. Okay, so now his defense is at 2,000, so I think, that's quite high, and because of this and being on Vampire Rune and his second skill and his passive, he does not die in raids, which is really, really nice. Okay, so his speed is currently at 151. As a frontline tanker, you don't really need speed on him. I mean, this is just from whatever substats I had. I wasn't aiming for it. Okay, and crit rate is 42, crit damage is 74. Again, these don't really matter too much. Resistance, I wish it was a little higher, but you don't really need it because of his passive. And if you have a fast enough cleanser, it really doesn't matter at all. Um, Even though he has 0 accuracy, he still defense break from time to time, which is, which is really nice. Okay? And the reason why he has so much speed here is because of his awaken bonus. Of course, he gets a 15 attack, which is nice, I guess. So I currently have him runed on Vampire Revenge, because his passive gives him more attack power. So with more attack power, I was thinking, well, might as well stick on Vampire so he can take advantage of that and heal himself for the damage, which is nice. And Revenge is, of course, when he gets attacked, he might Revenge and he might heal from that too, which is, also very nice. He has really, really good sustain with Vampire, and I think this is the build to go with him for raids. Of course, there'll be people that uses him in backline and ruin him something like attack, crit damage, attack, and have him on violent or something. I mean, he does do a lot of damage, but if you think about it, he's taking up an extra slot of an attacker, and then you'll have a frontline tanker there, and then he won't do too much damage. So, I'd rather have a frontline tanker that is kind of a pseudo damage dealer, and he can sustain himself, which is, a plus. You don't have to rely too much on healers because you heal yourself, and he heals himself for quite a bit, as you will see later. Okay, so currently I have him on defense, HP, defense. Okay, so take a look at his runes and pause whenever you feel like it. And you can see there I was going for HP and attack and defense, of course. Okay, so those are his stats. Okay, so let's test him out in raid in R4 to see how well he does. Okay, and like I said, he's one of the best, if not the best, frontline tankers for raid. So I'm gonna be testing him out here, and what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be having him solo frontline R4. So I'm gonna take out my Darien and stick in a level 1 1-star monster and start the raid. Okay, so we finally got a team, so I'm gonna stick in my 1-star monster and we'll start. Okay, so if you're the two guys in this raid with me and you're watching this, I'm sorry, but I have, this is for science. And I just wanted to prove to you guys that Mei Wang can do solo frontline for R4 no problem by himself. Oh. Okay, so I'll leave his stats on the side there so you can see it. So you have something to reference while you're looking at him doing raids here. Okay, so how I came up with this idea to have him solo frontline is that every so often my Darien would die. Like, he would die after the 3rd jump or something like that. And I would notice that my Wang, like, no matter how many times the dragon gives me head or hits me with a blast or something, he just doesn't die. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go out and test him and see if he can do it by himself. And he can, actually, which is pretty good. So again, he's on Vampire Revenge. So every hit he does, he'll heal himself, and also his second skill, it does more damage, and he'll heal himself for 15% of his total HP. Yeah, so you can see there, he's actually doing quite a bit of damage. So as a tanker, he can take the damage, and then he can also deal some damage too, which I find is really nice. So you know, I'd rather put him on frontline tank too. Again, because you know, why waste a slot for an additional damage dealer and a tank when you can have 2 in 1 pretty much. Although he doesn't do as much damage as a traditional damage dealer, but he still does pretty good, and he does really good as a tank too. So, you know, again, I'd rather put him on frontline defense, just so I don't waste a slot, and that allows me to have more supporters, more healers and cleansers. So it's really nice. So I noticed I don't really need my Darien at all. Actually, he's just really there for debuffs, and he doesn't really do too much in terms of tanking anything. His passive is nice, which reduces 15% damage taken from the enemy, but you know, my team doesn't really need it. So I'm just thinking of who to replace Darien with right now. So you see here, this is the 3rd jump, and you know, he's still surviving. Oh well, you'll see after. Yeah, and he's still in good health. He's not dying. See, there's the dragon giving him head, and he's still alive, and he just healed himself for like 9,000 or something like that with his 2nd skill. Yeah, so pretty much my Wang has soloed the R4 boss since the beginning until now, and he's doing really well. So that's why I think with this type of runes, Vampire Revenge is the best to go on him for raids. Oh, what's going on here? Oh. The 2 guys on the side ended up wiping. I'm sure it's not to do anything with me putting in a 1-star monster. But let's see if I can finish this. Yeah, I can finish this. All I need is a good hit from my Wang or Hua, and it'll be over. A good few hits, actually. That was 1. And there you go. And in the end, I ended up carrying, and the two people on my sides ended up wiping. Okay, so yeah, in conclusion, build your Wang Vampire Revenge defense HP defense for raids, because that is obviously the best build. Okay, so if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Watch my other videos, and until next time, happy farming.